Okay, before we talk about the standard deviation, I want to talk a little bit about statistical notation. So think about calculating the mean, and think about wanting to write a formula for calculating the mean. Okay, well, what we're doing is we're adding all the values in the data set, and then we're dividing by the number of values in the data set. And the only way I can think of writing that out would be to just use English. Sum of values in data set or divided by the number of values in the data set. Okay, but that's very cumbersome. And so statisticians kind of want some notation to make that a little bit easier to write out. And so here's some notation that they're going to use. For the mean, oftentimes if it's the mean of a sample, a lot of textbooks use X with a bar over it. Okay, and this is like X bar. Okay, and then they use this if there's a data set. Let's call this data set X, let's say, and let's say it's the values, we'll just say 1, 3, 5, 7, and 14. So now they might not call it data set X, but in your mind, if it's a single set of values like this, in your mind you just say that's data set X, and if I want to add up the values, then I'm going to take the sum of X. Okay, and so this is statistical notation. It's a capital S in the Greek alphabet, and it stands for sum. Okay, it's called sigma, and it's a capital S. It stands for sum. Okay, and so really what this is referring to is if you have a data set and you take sum of X, it means take 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 14. So it means just add up the values. So 20, 30, and that's what we get there. So that would be 30. The sum of X would be 30. Okay. Now another notation here is they use N here to denote the size of the data set. So when you pull out a sample, in this case here, N is equal to 5. Okay, because there's 5 values in the data set. And now what they can do is they can put this all together and they can get this formula for the average. Okay, the formula for the average here would be X bar, the mean, is equal to the sum of X over N. And this would be like one of the first statistical formulas you would learn in a statistics class, is that X bar, which is the sample mean, is equal to the sum of the values in data set X, whatever that is in your data set, divided by N, and that's the number of values in your data set. So in this case, I would say X bar is equal to 30 over 5, and so my mean would be equal to 6. So the sum of X is the sum of the values, N is the number of values, and then you got a nice formula for the average value or the mean value in your data set. Okay.